Hello, my beautiful viewers. Welcome again to today's podcast, where we're going to be diving into the topic 50-50 in marriage. And, some people believe that doing 50-50 in marriage is a way of fairness, to both people involved in the marriage. Some people believe that it promotes partnership in marriage. Some people believe that doing 50-50 in marriage is teamwork. But what they fail to realize is that when we are talking about 50-50 in marriage, you don't just look at the financial aspect of the 50-50 in marriage. How about the emotional aspect of 50-50 in marriage? How can you quantify or divide 50-50 contribution of your emotion in marriage? How can you divide your wife giving birth and you people doing it 50-50? Can you carry the pregnancy for 50% of the time? Or how can you quantify the effort that a partner puts in to maybe taking care of the children? How do you quantify that? Because I think when it comes to 50-50 in marriage, especially for men, they just feel, okay, you contribute 50%, I contribute 50%. How about the fact that one party in the marriage is earning more than the other? So for instance, let's say I'm the woman, I'm earning £100,000 in a year, and you, that is the man, you are earning £30,000 in a year. So 50% of my own earning is going to be £50,000 in a year. Yours is going to be £15,000 in a year. So if we are doing 50-50, you can see that there's really no fairness in that, because the burden will be on the person that is doing 30%, because the person that is doing 50% can easily spend even more 50% that is his partner's salary. Do you get it? So in my own opinion, I don't think there's fairness in 50-50 in marriage, because you tend to put the burden on the other person. You cannot quantify, my emotional support or in sexual support that I give to you in monetary value. So it will not work. It will not work. I know there are very few percentage of people where this is working. But if it is working in your marriage, and maybe you think is in your head, you might think is working, but trust me, somebody is paying the price. Somebody is taking that hit in the marriage. And when it comes to 50-50 in marriage, have you ever sat down to think, like I said, having a child? You didn't know the process a woman go through to have a child. Sometimes some women, they lose their shape, they lose their form. How do you quantify that in 50-50 when it comes to marriage? So if you want to do 50-50, for those of you that are interested in 50-50, be ready to give birth to the child 50%. Be ready to take care of the responsibility of the family 50%. Be ready to be able to cook in the kitchen. Because your wife will not go to work, or your husband will not go to work doing the 50% of their finance, and you expect them to go to the kitchen and to be cooking for you. It's not going to be possible. Expect 50% of, making decisions, because the disadvantage of 50-50 in marriage is that it will lead to competition. The woman no longer, except the woman have the fear of God in her, she no longer see you, the man, especially if you are the man that is keen about that 50-50. She will no longer give you that respect that you deserve. She will struggle to do it, because you're putting her under pressure to live to the financial responsibility of the house. And you see some people, they are very, very, how would I put it? Very, very selfish. Selfish in the sense that you expect me to bring my 50%, and and you bring your 50%, and I'll go to the kitchen to cook. I will do school run. I will do all those things then. And you expect me to bring my 50%. No wonder in most marriages where 50% are their watchword, they have lots of problems. Marriage is not competition, my brothers and my sister. Sister Sarah, Brother Ayo. Marriage is not competition. It's collaboration. The Bible even see marriage as a covenant between one person and the other, a contract. Because let's not forget, when you enter into a contract, sometimes there is an expiring date. And that expiring date in 50-50 is when maybe the other person, for instance, have you put into consideration if that person lose their job? what will be of the marriage? What will happen? Or maybe maybe they fall sick and they can no longer bring their 50-50 to the table. Then there will be strife, there will be dissatisfaction, there will be resentment on the person that is taking the full body, the burden of the family. So you see that 50-50 in marriage is not really a good idea, in my own opinion. It might be a good idea to you, but there's so much that is wrong with that concept of 50-50 in marriage. It makes, you know, the party involved not to give in their 100% in the marriage. They don't give their 100%, because if I'm the one that is earning the 100,000 and I'm bringing my 50,000 on the table, remember my 50,000 is even covering my partner's 30,000 that he or she is making. So I'm not going through any stress. The one that is earning less will be struggling, you know, to meet up with that. You don't make, and even the person that is earning 100%, where there are other needs that arise in the family with regards to maybe you know, for instance, maybe mortgage payments, the person don't want to put in their 100%. I think for me, marriage is like I said, cooperation and everybody putting their 100%. Whether you are the one anymore or you are the housekeeper, you put in your 100%. That's how, the only way it can work. Because if you are putting in your 100%, and for instance, maybe your husband or your wife lose their job, you won't see it as a burden, you know, to put in your 100% to cover up for your spouse lapses. I'm not giving room for laziness and people that don't want to, you know, contribute to the family. But what I'm saying is that it's important that we put 100% into our marriages, you know, so as to avoid this competition of 50-50. You understand? To avoid strife in our marriage. You understand? It's a covenant. It's something that we do with cooperation. Also, there are other people that think maybe it's very like the traditional marriage, when they think, oh, the man is the provider of the house. So because I'm the provider, I've done my bit in the house. No, these days, even now, women can even provide for you. They will look after you, the man, pay the mortgage, feed the family, and they are okay. So what will not be your contribution as a man? If you have a very ambitious wife, what will be your contribution? That means the woman will even see you like, oh, I can do without you. And when you put yourself in that position, especially for men, and allow a woman to take up so much responsibility and make her see that she can do without you, you know, you have lost your part as a man. Trust me. It will take only a woman that is really grounded in God, that have the proper fear of God, you know, to give you that respect that you deserve. So please, 50-50 in marriage, I don't think is a good concept to follow as a child of God. We are all expected to give our 100% in marriage. Most times, you see, you are giving 90%, somebody is giving 10%. It does not matter. Everybody is bringing their best to the table. I think marriage it's supposed to be you know, bringing out your best in what you are good in doing. There are some men that are good in looking after the children. They are good givers to their children. So because you want 50-50, you say, okay, the man has to go and work and provide. It does not make sense. So whether you are giving, in marriage, sometimes you give 70-30. It can be 60-40. Sometimes it can even be you can be the one doing the 100% of the work, which I don't really advise anyway in the other way around. But let's see it as a teamwork, that we contribute and we put in our best to make it work, and not to put the burden on one person or the other. Because when it comes to 50-50, like I said, that means there will be trouble. It's a recipe for disaster in marriage. So I hope maybe with this, my own opinion about it, it will make sense to you not to have that idea of 50-50 in your marriage. Because what is going to do, the disadvantage outweigh the advantage. It really do outweigh the advantage. So let's be wise, and let's allow God to lead us in our marriage. Let's not carry what is, you know, running around the world to set as a template for our marriage, because it won't work. It won't work. It won't work, because it won't work. It won't work. So please, my sister Sarah, please, brother Ayo, think about it if you are of that opinion that 50-50 is the right way to go. In my opinion, like I said, is not. And if you think otherwise, please put it on the comment below. Also, before I go, I don't know if you guys remember the topic of joint accounts, no joint accounts. And I remember I talked about, transparency in marriage, accountability, and all that, trust in marriage. That when you are having a joint account with your partner, it just shows that you trust them, and there's clarity in maybe in your finance, you people will not be able to be, going for things that you cannot afford. But like I said, I had a comment that somebody said that they cannot do joint account with their partner, which I respect. I understand that you cannot do joint account with your partner because maybe you don't trust them. And if you don't trust your partner, there's problem there. That means there's error already. There's error in that foundation. You understand? It is your own decision, my darling. I cannot force you to do joint account with your partner. And I remember I did said that there are some couples that they don't even have joint account, but there's transparency in their marriage. There's sense of responsibility in their marriage. They trust themselves. They are not bothered with the joint account. So if you think you cannot do joint account with your partner, it's okay. It's really, really okay if you think you cannot do it. And if you think your partner is a spender and you don't trust them, but because you are a child of God, you want to trust God, to work on your partner. And for that reason, you want to enter into that concept of, joint account with your partner. You are not bothered whether they spend the money or not, because you are believing God, to change your partner. There's nothing God cannot do. Trust me. The Bible says, try me and see. There's nothing he cannot do as long as you believe that he can touch your partner to be responsible. So whether you want a joint account or you don't want a joint account, it is your choice, my darling. I'm not in your marriage, to be the one to dictate on what to do. But remember, if you cannot trust your partner and you don't think your partner is responsible enough, there's no transparency in your marriage, then there's an issue that you need to sort out. Maybe you need to go to counseling, or while you're doing your counseling, praying to God that God should touch the heart of your spouse, because it's a very dangerous place to be in your marriage when you do not trust the person that you are spending the rest of your life with. So I hope with this I've answered your question. And for the 50-50 in marriage, if it is something that is working for you, good luck for you. If it is not working for you, or you are thinking of that concept of 50-50 in marriage, and you have listened to this podcast, and this podcast have show light on things for you, please leave it in the comment below. Guys, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, so that when I do upload videos, you'll be the first to hear. And also share. You don't know who these words will bless. Share to that your sister, share to that your brother, put it on your WhatsApp platform. Somebody might be blessed with this. And as you do that, God bless you. Shalom.